So welcome everyone. I hope we are ready with a pen and notebook so that we can learn. Our topic today is really what everyone would want to learn, the young and the old, how to build a stable business. Not just business, not a business that you'll build today and after a year or two or three it collapses. No, we are talking of a stable business that can stand the test of time. And when I was looking for a speaker, I couldn't find a better speaker than our tonight's speaker. Why? When I was joining this business 15, going to 16 years ago, I got huge, tremendous inspiration from his success story. He had built such an awesome, admirable business. And I am excited to say that it is your chance to also learn from him. And this is none other than Andrew Bugembe. Andrew Bugembe is an engineer and also a lawyer, one of the top leaders we have in New Life world, coming all the way from Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, with emojis down there, love and whatever other emojis, please help me to welcome Andrew Bugembe, President Team Member all the way from Uganda. If Andrew can hear me, please take it away. Andrew, you can hear me?
Yes, Dr. Karaoke. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, I'll be putting on my video like in the next 10 minutes.
All right.
Allow me to, I'm just arriving somewhere, but I'm going to start definitely. Am I loud and clear, sir?
Yeah, very well. We can hear you very well.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for this invitation. I don't take it for granted that you have invited me. It explains a lot of belief and trust you have in the business itself, because as people grow, as we all grow in the business, we should be able to help each other grow, and that's what the true meaning of our business is like. For those that are listening in for the very first time, my name is Bugembe Andrew. I am married to Janet Bugembe. We have been married for the last 14 years. Currently, we have one daughter who spent a bit of time in Kenya, but now she's back here in Uganda. She's pursuing her secondary school education now. My qualification and training, I'm an electrical engineering graduate and an advocate, the High Court, a lawyer by profession. I've also taken on a diploma in taxation, which I did about 10 years ago. I did that about 10 years ago. The purpose I tell you all this is so that we can relate and appreciate, because I started this business when I had literally no qualification. The only qualification I had was secondary school certificate. That's when I saw the business. I was 20 years of age, and I was looking for an opportunity that I could do alongside my studies. The reason was very clear. I'm one person who fears poverty. I fear lacking. I don't know if there's anything that you fear in your life or that gives you some kind of pain point. But for me, what drove me to look for a business to do, and I was not looking for New Life, but what drove me to start New Life when it came along, because I was looking for a business to do, was the fear of lack, the fear of not having money. And I think today, for the distributors that are on the call, I want to start by saying there has to be a reason as to why you do what you do. And I want to speak generally because sometimes people think we only, the things that we learn in New Life only apply to New Life. So they kind of tend to play deaf ear simply because we are referring to them in as far as New Life is concerned. But I want to tell you this evening that if you go to your job every single day where you're earning an income from, but you don't have reason for going to that job, it's very evident that in the few years to come, you will probably not be, you will not have progressed in as far as that job is concerned. So for me, my reason for starting New Life was because I was looking for about $200 at a time. In fact, my goal had been set. I was looking for a business that could pay me $200 as additional income every single month so that it could supplement my future income as an electrical engineer. And I was thinking about this in my first semester. So I was already looking around for something I could do that could supplement my future income. Now, if you're on the call and you don't have a current income, or so you have a current income, but you're not even thinking about something that is going to supplement your income, then perhaps maybe you're comfortable, your job pays you enough money that you can save off quite a chunk that is going to take care of you in the future. For me, I was already looking in that direction. And I was looking for something desperately that I could do because as a young person, then I didn't have any qualifications other than the secondary school certificate I had gotten. For you to build a stable business, you must have a strong reason, ladies and gentlemen. There has to be a strong reason. For you to live a successful life, build a strong business, have a stable business, you must have a strong reason. And the strong reason does not depend on how big the reason is. It depends more on how emotional you are attached to that reason. I put myself in the shoes of a growing adult. And I was looking at the salary I would get as an engineer, electrical here in Uganda. And I noticed that I noticed that if I got that salary, and I was now speaking in terms of the future, I noticed that if I ever got that salary, what would happen would be that I would spend part of that salary on my rent because I don't have a house. I didn't have a house then. So for me, I needed to live somewhere because I was not going to be with my father till the age of 30. You know, I pity a lot of young people who reach the age of 30 and are still staying with their parents. It's going to be difficult for you in life because you will still remain dependent on your parents for years. So anyway, there was that aspect. I also was looking at the fact that as a young person, I would need food because the moment you leave your father's house, guess what? You can no longer go back to him for supper and breakfast. So I was looking for a place. I was looking for a way I could be able to make an income that would put food on the table. So rent, food. Then I was also looking, of course, for some of the other expenses that come along with that, like airtime, perhaps if you have to go somewhere, you need some transport. Those were the things that were moving me. Yes. Those were the things that were moving me. So I actually set out to go out there and ensure that I look for an income so that if I got money, say from my job, all right, so that if I got money, say from my job, thank you. If I got money from my job and that money was not enough, at least I would ensure that I have some additional income coming in from another source. Now, I don't know, for me it looks obvious, but it doesn't. It's not obvious to so many people because I see so many people stuck on this one source of income and then trying all sorts of side businesses, or even not even trying at all, but they expect that that one source of income will cater for the increasing expenses in their lives. As a 20-year-old, I was already thinking that far. And that's why I start off this evening by telling you that without looking at anyone else, your biggest reason for building a stable business should be the fact that you have a dream, you have a reason. And that reason does not have to be magnificent. For me, it was just $200 more that I wanted to add to my future income. You can imagine, I was studying and I was thinking about my future income. Now, today, if you are on the call this very evening, what is your reason? I'm sorry you hear this over and over again, but if it still bothers you, that it irritates you that we talk about a reason and it still irritates you, it's because you don't have a reason. And therefore, you need to make up your mind and get that reason, because without that reason, you will not be able to run this business. Maybe I'll also say this. The reason in our business is your boss. You see, the only reason you go to work and you attend your chores or you do your work in time is because you have someone hovering over you and is telling you to come in on time, to sign in, to sign out, to make sure that you do A, B, C, D. You have KPIs. Your reason in your life is your dream. It is your boss. It is what drives you. It is what gives you the effort. I wake up at 5 a.m. every single morning without fail. Sometimes I wake up, I'm thinking myself, why is it taking so long to have the light come out? Because I want to leave home and go and work. Because I have something I am running for. There's something I desire that I want to achieve. You know? And at the end of the day, I come back home like I've just come back now, and I'm fully excited about what has gone through the day because I know I have done my best to add a block to my dream. Now, are you adding a block to your dream every day? Or are you in the same place? Some of us earn a certain amount of money. You earn 100,000 Kenya shillings. And then at the end of the month, when you do the mathematics, you are in negative 2,000. Then you start another month and another month, and the year goes by, and you realize that all the money that is coming to you is not adding a block to your dream. You're not adding skills, you're not adding income, you're not adding, I don't know, to your dreams. Now, for me, that was a driving force in my new life start. And I can tell you, there's nobody I have met, not our current diamonds I'm seeing in Tanzania who are doing quite well, and we're catching up with them soon. Not the guys that have hosted me here, like the karaoke's. Every single person I've seen that has succeeded, and not just in your life, in everything they do, and they are stable at what they are doing, it's because they have a reason. So I hope that kind of starts us off with a very clear direction. I can spend even 30 minutes on the reason, because whatever I say, if you have no reason for being on the call, it's not going to make sense. You know? And as we speak to you right now, yes, we speak to you in this light that, you know what, we want you to succeed. But the person who puts in that effort in order to succeed. The person who creates success from themselves is the person that is putting in 70%, 80% towards their success. The people outside you, the uplines, the leaders, can only do as far as 20%. The 80% comes from you. That's why half of the time you have to put in effort working on yourself. The audios we used to listen to used to tell us, Jim Rohn used to say, you in this business, you work harder on yourself than you do on the business. Because a time comes when if you've not worked hard on yourself, your business will come back down to the level at which you can be able to appreciate it. Yeah, that means if you're earning 5 million shillings, but your mindset is 2 million shillings, so I'm using Uganda shillings. If you're earning 100,000, but your mindset is 50,000, your brain will come back to 50,000. Why? Because you're not working hard on yourself. And part of working hard on yourself is to find a dream. Maybe I'll share this testimony just now. So when I started, I wanted $200. In 6 months, I got the $200. I was in my first year, second semester. Then I went through a whole year lost without a reason again. Without a reason. In fact, in that year, I had people in my team that grew bigger than me. They were directors and emerald directors, and I was a very unqualified director. They were earning $500. I was earning about $100. I went through a whole year because of that. And I had to go back to the table and figure out a reason. When I came back to the drawing table, I figured out my reason. I remember writing 101 things I want to get in my life before I die. Before my creator calls me. I sat down for 2 weeks. I was writing that list. And it was very specific. It was very clear. It was very time bound. I said I wanted to buy a car at this point in time, and I wanted that car to look like this. I would sit down and say, I want to build a house at this point in time, and I want this house to look like this, 3-bedroom house. Okay? And I would say, I wanted to be at this level in the business at this point in time. So I wrote down about 100 things I wanted to achieve. And about 10 of those were really very emotional to me. In fact, I told God, please do not call me before I achieve these 10 things. Do not call me. God, help me. That was my prayer every single night. And guess what? The dream was rejuvenated. I came from being unqualified director to becoming a president's team member within 13 months. So I took steps: director, emerald director, sapphire director, 1 ruby, 2 ruby, 3 ruby, 4 ruby within 13 months. That's how powerful a reason can be. That if you have a reason, you'll make the steps. If you don't have a reason, and that reason is not yours, go listen out for a book, or listen to a book, an audiobook called Put Your Dream to the Test by John C. Maxwell. Some of us have reasons, but the reasons are not yours. Someone else owns them. They're not clear. They are not, he talks about a number of things in that particular book, Put Your Dream to the Test. But some of the things that I was able to put down on this paper really were in line with what John C. Maxwell talks about in that particular audio and book of his. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, it's important to understand the products and the business. If you want to have a stable business, understand your product, understand your business. Very, very important. Understand your business, understand your products. As far as the products are concerned, if you're new on the call, just understand 3NN. Do a demonstration of LDC. Use them. See how 3NN impacts you. See how through using 3NN you're able to feel. Use the LDC. Let it do the work. That brings you. It's easy for us to understand the products in our business because all you have to do is to actually use the products. The business is what takes a bit of time. And that's why it's important for you as a distributor to take a moment to ensure that you are part of a training. Because if you aren't part of the training, if you are not part of the training, ladies and gentlemen, you're not subscribing to any kind of training, it's definitely going to be very difficult for you to build your business. Why? Because you need to learn some of the things that you need to learn in order for your business to grow. I can tell you that for sure. That if you are not putting in the effort to learn the things that you need to learn in order for your business to grow, then it will not grow. It will definitely not grow. So one of the key things is to make sure that you put in the effort to ensure that you attend the trainings that have to be attended. Sorry, I'm just looking for something here small. I think I should be about to get it. So the trainings have been set together. The good thing, the trainings are available. And I think the effort has to come from us. It has to come from you. I remember when I started, I thought I was all clever and sharp. So I kind of used to look down on the trainings. I would think that, okay, so what are they going to teach me that is new? I remember my first trainings were very difficult to attend because I thought I knew. I thought I had it. I thought I was the clever one. All right. And I remember going through that phase. Going through that phase. Just a moment, people. I remember going through that phase and thinking, oh yeah, Andrew, the one who thinks he knows it. But then when I would go talk to people, I would not get the results. Why? Because my approach was wrong. Because I had the mindset that if I go out there, all I have to do is to tell people about this product and then sell, for example. So it became more like a tug of war, really. It became more like a tug of war. I had to ensure that I attend the trainings, and I had to love the trainings. Jerry Brassfield, in one of the last President's Team events I've been to, he made a very important statement. He said, in your life, and this plays a very big role in, as far as your stability is concerned, in your life, you need to learn how to love the things you don't like doing. You need to learn how to love the things you don't like doing. I never liked personal development books. I was not a person that you would sit down in the room and talk to. On a call like this, I think I'd be the most bored. But you see, now all this, if you look back, all this is then driven by your reason. Because I wanted to earn an extra $200, I listened and I would come for training. Because I needed to earn those $200. Because I wanted to eventually see the bigger picture of what New Life has to offer, I had to come around and learn the different trainings and be part of the different trainings. So it's extremely important that you take a moment or two to ensure that you understand the products and you understand the business. And I am going to encourage you to read a book. It's been all over the place. It's Own Your Life. Own Your Life. Own Your Life is like the basics on what we do in your life, especially as far as network marketing is concerned. Take a moment or two. And this, because you see, what happens is this book is about 100 pages. What happens is this: we go to university and we are there for 4 years and we read all these very many books and we still come out and we're not earning the money we want to earn. Not a problem. Maybe you earn it a few years later. But guess what? If you want to earn from the New Life business, take a moment, read some of these books that are to do with the kind of business that we do. And those include, Own Your Life, and you can also do GoPro. And study them. Let them help you appreciate what it is that we do in your life. Because if you don't do that, you're going to be swerved by so many people. You're going to be swerved by so many businesses. I can tell you, even after I've been in the business for the last 21 years. I still see so many people involved in so many businesses, but there is none of them that beats the kind of business that we have in Neolife. None of them. No business is going to allow you to be able to leave a legacy for your children's children. I have a friend who passed away in 2008. In 2026, ladies and gentlemen, that gentleman is still being paid from this Neolife business. One of my very first 330s that I made, he became a 1 rupee after 3 years. Today, as we speak, he's still being paid courtesy of this opportunity. You can imagine. There's hardly any business that you will do that you'll walk away from it for about a month or two and it continues to pay you. There's hardly any business that you'll do that will give you both the health and the travel opportunity at the same time. Now, if you look around, go back, look around. Now, me, I've understood that and I know what it is. I know that the Neolife business that I'm doing today surpasses by far any kind of business that is out there, especially when it is to do with an ordinary person like Andrew starting their business. So in all this, I'm trying to make an effort to help you understand that, please, number two, make sure you understand your products through using them. Make sure you understand your business. Even understand your company. Understand your company. Because I know there are so many companies that are out there. But ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what those companies' agendas are. Some of them come in to take your money and leave town as soon as possible. And I've seen that over the years. I've actually had friends that I was with in this business who were poached. Is it poached or coached? It's poached. They were recruited directly from my team to those companies, promised millions of shillings. After 6 months, those companies were no more. And yet they had left businesses here that were paying them $3,000 a month consistently. But they were running for $10,000, which $10,000 could not be sustained because the companies were not able to generate that kind of volume. A product like 3NN, a product like LDC, a product like Supergrow can consistently generate. Tomorrow I have an order of 1,200 points to deliver. I've had this customer for the last 10 years. Last 10 years, same customer. That is business. That is what it means to have a solid business, stability. So take a moment before you go around jumping from this company to that company, from this business. Today we see you doing chicken. Tomorrow you're the one in the goats. The other day you're in a matatu. You're doing matatus. This now boda. Man, you're going to get confused. These things are going to stress you out until you're 60. Build your solid Neolife business. Give it 2 to 3 years. I can guarantee you it will pay you many more times consistently than those other things would pay you. Now, I'm not saying it's bad to rear chicken. It's not bad. I mean, if that's your calling, well and good. And I'm not saying it's bad to have a matatu. I'm not saying it's bad to have rentals. But let me tell you, me, I came to understand. This year I'm going to be in Egypt. This year I'm going to be in Amsterdam. Egypt in May, Amsterdam in September. Then we shall be in Dar es Salaam together. I've just come back from a trip with my team to a place here in Uganda called Maction Falls. Ladies and gentlemen, my rentals cannot take me there. Even if I wanted how, I would have to build so many rentals for me to take out money to take myself to Egypt. And even if I went to Egypt, I go with who? My wife and child? It's not as fun as when I go with the whole team. It's a different experience altogether. So think through this. Understand your business and its benefits. Understand the products and the benefits around them. All right, moving on there. Very important are the values that Neolife teaches us. They form our foundation, ladies and gentlemen. I would tell you that if you're a dishonest person, this business will never grow because the people who follow you are not stupid. They are wise, they are clever, and they'll see the dishonesty right from you. If you're a person who does not keep your word, if you're a person, you will keep on working in circles if you're a dishonest person. This business will force you to become the person you don't want to become in order for you to get to where you want to be. It will force you. When I started this business, I had tendencies. I had traces of jealousy. Very difficult one. I have to be vulnerable here. I had tendencies of jealousy. Some of you see people succeeding, and instead of clapping for them, you're busy getting jealous. Guess what? God cannot give you what you envy. That's why the values in this business are very key. The things they talk about, the integrity, the long-term vision. Think long-term. If today, I'll give you an example. If today you took someone's customer, remember that customer is going to come back to you again and again. And at a certain point in time, the customer will realize that, you know what? Oh, this is what he did to get to me. Wow. And that customer will lose trust, whether it is 2 years, whether it is 3 years, whether it is 10 years. So you have to think long term. Okay? If you sell to someone a product expensively, excessively expensive, guess what? That person will one day be moving around and they'll realize that, hey, wait, this is the SRP price. Hey, but this friend of mine gives it to me like 10 times more. I know people here in Uganda who are selling Kalmag at about what? About 4,000 shillings, you know? 4,000, I think that is even little, about 5,000 shillings. Kalmag. And before you knew they did, of course, didn't have a business. You ate that profit in the short term, but you didn't realize that in the long term, that it would pain you. So it's also just important for you to appreciate that if you want to build a stable business, I don't judge anybody. We all come with our traits and behaviors, but New Life changes us. New Life changes us. New Life cleaned my heart totally, to the point that for there's a time I had a crisis here in Uganda over some Supergrow issues. At one point, I called the team. I told them, you know what, guys, this is what is on the table. This is how it's going to be done. This is how transparent we need to move forward, going on. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't help you much. You cannot grow a stable business if you are not teachable, if you are dishonest, if you are not thinking long term, if you're not taking your products very seriously. Okay, I think this is number 4. It is extremely important to get skills in this business. Extremely. You want a stable business? Spend time getting these skills. The time I've told you I spent not sponsoring or not building my business, where my distributors, my downlines were earning more money than me, it is because I was finding it hard to sponsor. For me, it was difficult for me to sponsor. I became a director, but when I became a director, the distributor I sponsored had 3,000 points and I had 1,000 points. That's how I became a director, which simply meant that that distributor I sponsored had a stronger, bigger team than me. But the reason I had a slightly weaker team is because I was struggling to sponsor. Unfortunately, in this business, no one is going to teach you these things for you. No one is going to use the products on your behalf. No one is going to train on your behalf. You cannot be there in somewhere and you say, you attend the training on my behalf, like as if it's a government conference. You can't. You have to do these things and be there in person. I usually meet people who are very successful and they say, I don't have time for training. Then you won't have time to make the money. Because if you're going to make the money, this money is going to be made depending on you as an individual, the skills you acquire. So take a moment to acquire the following skills. Learn how to meet people. Learn how to meet people. It's a skill. It's a skill. Meeting new people is a skill. Adding a name to your phone number is a skill. Are you the kind of person who meets someone by the bus stand and immediately you're taking out your TNN to start selling it? Or do you first build a relationship? Do you know about the family, the occupation, the recreation and motivation formula? That's interview. Does it make sense to you? Okay? Then, in addition to the skill of meeting new people, learn how to invite people over for that one-on-one or for that meeting. That's a skill as well. That's a skill. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the easiest skills I have come across in the world are with New Life. I went through 4 hard years of law, and I can tell you, wow, those guys do a lot to try and acquire their skill. Now, I compare law and some of the other professions we have, like accounting, to the kind of skills that you need to get in your life. Really, meeting new people. Maybe that's why some people think it's too easy. So they kind of ignore it. But in your life, the skill of meeting new people is all you need to succeed. The skill of inviting. How do you invite someone over for a cup of tea for that one-on-one? The skill of presenting. How do you present the solutions we have in your life to that person? How do you match the two, that his needs and your solutions can be able to give him direction? The skill of follow-up. The skill of follow-up. After you've done ABCD, are you able to come back and do the follow-up? Basically, about 4 skills that you need to make your life work. But ladies and gentlemen, sometimes people don't take the moment and the time, and they are so much in a hurry to move on to the next, and they forget to ensure that they learn those skills. My testimony, I struggled with each of those skills. In fact, the only skill I think I had put out was presenting. And I thank God because my father is the teacher. So somehow I think it was genetically transferred, presenting, teaching. But other than that, I was a very shy person. I had to beat myself out of my shyness. And what took me that far, beating myself out of my shyness, was the fact that I had a reason. That's why I told you the reason is very important. Because if you don't have a reason, all these things will look like obstacles. I remember I would sit in a taxi, we call them taxis here in Uganda, and I'd be quiet until the destination. But once I had my dream and I started working on my skills, I started by saying hello to my neighbor. I would even find it to say hello to my neighbor. I would get into a space and I just go to my corner and I can't say hello to anybody. But the moment I picked up on my dream, I started saying hello. And I remember sitting in a taxi and just saying hello to someone, hello. Then after a week, I started saying, hello, how are you? You know, hello, how are you? Whenever I would sit, I'll say, hello, how are you? After 3 weeks, I'll say, hello, how are you? With a smile now. Hello, how are you? How was your day? You're going to town? Do you work in town? You know, I started conversing with someone. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what transformed my business to come from director to president team in 1 year. Just opening up myself to make sure that I intentionally learn these skills. I used to find it hard. I know you've invited people that have not come before. It's because you're not skilled at inviting the people. You have to put in effort to invite the people, to learn the skill of inviting. You're talking to people, yes, they come in front of you, but you present and they don't start. You need to put in effort in learning the skill of presenting. And let me tell you, all the skills I'm talking about can be learned by anybody. All the skills I'm talking about are learned by being done over and over and over and over and over again. The moment you do the skills over and over and over and over again, you try inviting 100 people. By the time you're inviting the 100th person, you will have learned how to invite. But guess what? Sometimes we speak and invite 2-3 people and we stop at the 3rd. How are you on earth going to learn how to invite if you have only invited 3 people? We master these skills by doing them over and over again. All right, let's move on there. The 4th thing that is going to make your business stable, this is the 4th, the 5th. The 5th thing that is going to make your business stable is consistency. Is consistency, ladies and gentlemen. And I can still tell you, I think everybody knows what consistency is. Everybody knows. Even the people who are poor know what consistency is, but they do not do it. Yeah? Every single person. In fact, if you're on the call this evening and you're still wondering, why am I where I am today? Some of these things should be giving you the answers. You know what you're supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not consistent. I'm not resilient towards doing that thing. Success is not about big actions. You invite, yes, you had Andrews coming, you invited 30 people to come onto the call. Fantastic. Tomorrow, invite another 30. So one of the things I have done and I've been very intentional about over the last couple of years, I'm very intentional about telling people to talk to at least 2 people every single day. I can tell if you're talking to 2 people every single day for 8 months, I can tell you with a guarantee that in 8 months, you'll be earning 60,000 Kenya shillings on the minimum. On the minimum. If you can consistently talk to 2 new people every single day, if you can consistently use the products, if you can consistently show up for the trainings and remain active, I can guarantee you that those small actions done daily, like talking to new people, presenting to new people every single day, inviting them over, presenting to them, and doing the follow-up every single day, I can guarantee you that in 8 months, you will be earning a consistent income of 60,000 Kenya shillings on the minimum. On the minimum. As in, that is with someone who is just doing something as simple as talking to 2 new people every single day. All right. Then last but not least, is it last but okay? I still have 2 more. Last but not least is the structure. The structure, the systems and the structure. What do I mean by the structure? You see, this business is quite interesting. If you want to become a loyalty member, software director, help 1 person become a director. A 1 Ruby, help 3 people become directors. 2 Ruby, help 3 people become directors. 4 Ruby, help 6 people become directors. My next goal is 5 Ruby. I have to help 8 people become directors. Every single morning, I wake up looking at those 8 people. Are you following your structure very well? Because really the business is about how you structure it. Who are you helping to grow your business? Who are you helping to grow their business? Sorry. By helping others, we achieve our dreams. And the only way that makes sense when you help people is when you are following certain systems, a certain structure. Where are you supposed to be on Monday? Where are you supposed to be every week? Where are you supposed to be every month? What are your monthly targets anyway? Who in your team is supposed to succeed in order for you to succeed? Excuse me. Just a moment. Who in your team is supposed to succeed in order for you to succeed? What is your agenda in as far as helping other people succeed? Genuinely succeed. Because you cannot help people succeed for yourself. Those people have to succeed for themselves in order for you to succeed. I have people in the business that are consistently earning a good income of about 100,000 Kenya shillings. If someone is earning 100,000 Kenya shillings, and they even have the potential to earn more, but they're earning 100,000 Kenya shillings, their children are going to school because of that 100,000 shillings. They're staying in a better accommodation because of those 100,000 shillings, Kenya shillings. They are feeding. They're also traveling the world. Whenever I enter a room, like now on this room that we're in, 81 people. Whenever I enter a room like this, I'm asking myself, who is in my structure? How many people around me are in this meeting that I need to help? You need to really put in that effort in your structure. Structure brings stability. If you focus on helping certain individuals in your structure and discipling them, I'm going to be very religious now, and discipling those individuals, you are going to definitely build a strong structure. Jesus had 12 disciples. He died over 2,000 years ago. His gospel still goes on today. He left a structure. He left a structure, and that structure continued to spread the gospel after that. Okay? Who are those people that you have mentored, you have discipled in your team that are going to, that are succeeding because of you? You just have to. Because if those individuals, you cannot show them to me, then you don't have a structure. Oftentimes when I meet leaders, I ask myself, where are your leaders? Because a great leader is someone who has leaders around him. A great leader is someone who has people that he can say he has been able to develop. Yeah. And somehow, somewhere, you have to go through the pain of developing those leaders. It is painful. It is a struggle. It is full of conflict, full of excitement, mixed emotions. When someone loses someone, are you there for them? Or you only remember them at the end of the month when you want PV? That's when you remember to call. Yeah, that people used to call me at the end of the month. I told them, please don't call me at the end of the month. Call me at the beginning. Because me, I don't make sense. You coming to me at the end of the month, telling me how, oh, this and this and this and that should be. The month is ending. I have been working the whole month. Where have you been? I want to see you at the beginning of the month. Who are those people you work with right now? Today is the 10th of February. Who are you working with in your structure right now? Or are you waiting for the 28th to now come and call? I've not seen your 100 points. Where have you been? I have not seen you. Are you becoming manager this month? Where have you been? So structure is more like identifying particular individuals in your business who you really build a brotherly, sisterly kind of relationship. People who become like your brothers. Yeah. For those that are now maybe above 50, some of them may become like your children. You know? Those people that become close to you, that are like your age. And you see, this structure thing is everywhere. Go to the churches. All churches that have different branches have structure. There's a lead pastor, there's a lead priest, there's an archbishop, and that archbishop has different leaders all over the place. Those people are the people that retain the structure of the organization. Look at your countries. Your presidents have structures. In your business, what does your structure look like? Who are the people that are at the forefront that you're working with to see succeed? Very important. Then last but not least, and I think I'll end with this today, attend events. Attend events. Attend events. Attend events, ladies and gentlemen. Attending events is very important. Whether you're feeling low, whether you feel the business is not running, I mean, I've given you my experience. I didn't qualify for a whole year. And sometimes I'd be so low. And you know, when you're low, all these things come out. Jealousy, anger, greed, fear, all those things you know about yourself begin to present themselves. But let me tell you something. One thing that kept me going was the training, was the events I was attending. And I remember attending senior manager events. One was by Rico Brown. And the things that I was really struggling with are the very same things that he talked about. I remember attending another event. It was by the Africa president at the time. And this guy was showing us Nigerians. And my heart was like, you know what? If those Nigerians can do it, why not me? You know? Then I went to the World Team Conventions. I said, hey, you mean people are this serious here? And as the man was like, you know what? If these people can do it, why not me? You see, if you don't attend the events, you're crushing yourself. Your mind is going to work against you. If you don't attend the events, you are not going to see the results you want to see. You must attend the events because it's in those events that you get the fire, the excitement. Be in that event, get angry because other people are succeeding and you're not. Get the belief that you know what, if Hosiana, if Husna, if Rema, if Beatrice, if all these guys can become presidency members, why not me? Why not me? You know, what do they have that I don't have? Let your spirit be filled with that anger to succeed. Yeah, Les Brown used to say, become hungry for success. You know, develop the hunger to succeed. Yeah. So attend events, ladies and gentlemen. One is too small a number to attain significance. You need the team, and you need to be part of the team. You need to be there so that you can be able to be motivated. I think with those very many words, I can say that I think I've given you more than at least 60% for you to build a stable business. If you use that information very well, I'm definitely sure you'll be qualified and remain qualified. I've been a Presence team member since 2008. Unfortunately, I've had to come up with a dream right now, because like I said, whenever you stagnate at a level, it's because you don't have a big reason. And I think I was able to acquire my reason a few years back. And these days, I'm excited about life. And people like Hossein and Husna have inspired some of us to also look up to the next steps, which are diamond. So if I can do it, I'm definitely sure you too can do it. Thank you very much, Pierus and Josephat, for this opportunity. Dear team, may God bless you. I wish you success in your journeys.
Thank you so much, Drew. I mean, Bugembe, there is really nothing I can add on to what you've shared with us. Very rich, very practical for everyone, those who are 1 day old in the team and those who are a decade old. Very practical tips on how to build a very solid business. And I think at this point, unless someone was predestined to fail, which I don't believe there's anything like that, any one of us in this call, we are fully equipped to build a very stable business. Have that big why, the reason, understand the products, work with the values, build the skills that you need to be successful. Be consistent. Work with a structure mentor, people that you want to succeed and attend events. What a session. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Andrew Bugembe there for pouring his wisdom from his heart. I believe our businesses are going to take a turn around. And where Andrew has stopped, that's the only thing I want to emphasize, because it is so critical, yet is the most undermined thing, attending events. I'm tempted to share on screen those who have registered for our Superstars Team Convention coming on 9th of May this year. But then I am shy, because there are people who should have registered 2 months ago and they have not yet registered. Maybe the question would be, is it that you don't have a reason as to why you are in this business? Because even the list of the members should have registered for the convention by now. But because Andrew is in this call, let me not go that direction, because you will be surprised that there is someone who has not registered. Please, after this, once we are done, make sure you go ahead and register. For those who have just joined us recently, the paybill number is right there. This is how you register, and I will automatically be able to see or get the notification that you've registered for the convention. Please don't be left behind. We are set. We are moving. The train has left the stage. Please don't be left behind. We are building strong businesses. Out of this kind of a training, we are going to get brand new World team members and President team members. Maybe my question as we close would be, what holds you back? What holds you back? Andrew has said it all, that 80% of your success is as a result of yourself. I mean, you contribute 80% to your success. The rest, likes of Josephat and Puros and Andrew Bugembe, they will only contribute maximum 20%. So what holds you back? The answer is yourself. How you behave, how you think, how you do your things, how swift you are, even in such things like registering for the convention. So we want to stop at this point and just to wish us the very best of this month of February. We've started on a very high note. We are just on date 10th. We have enough time to play our cards smartly. I know this month of February, we are gonna celebrate big steps right here. God bless you so much. Have a lovely, lovely night. Remember, consistency. Invite for those meetings. Like tomorrow, we have the Nairobi meeting. Thursday, we have the Nakuru meeting. All these meetings are already on your WhatsApp wall. But do you consistently invite in those meetings? Do you attend the meetings consistently yourself? We are together in this. We are happy to support you as you build your business, but remember you are the pilot. We are just the GPS to guide you. This is the way, but you are the one to do the walking. Thank you, team, for being part of this training. Have a lovely night. And thank you so much, Andrew, for such a rich,
Welcome.
wonderful training. God bless you.
Very welcome, Josephat and Pierre. Thank you.
Thank you.